What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you what should probably be a shorter lore video for Pillars of Eternity about awakenings. Now real quick, before we dive into that, I just want to mention there might be some minor spoilers for the games here. Nothing major, mostly probably contextual stuff more than anything else, and a little bit of stuff that happens very early in the first game. Now with that out of the way, let's jump into the concept here. Awakenings are one of several soul maladies, which I will eventually cover just as a whole, but I wanted to talk about awakenings separately because they're a little more involved than a lot of the other soul maladies. But to explain it, soul maladies are usually caused by a problem with the reincarnation process that happens on the world of Eora. I've made a video about that process called The Wheel if you are interested. Again, major spoilers in that video actually, but I'm not going to cover it too much in depth, but suffice to say there's a reincarnation process that happens in the world of Eora, and that process, as well as external forces, can cause various maladies of the soul. One of the most common ones, or more common ones anyway, are awakenings. When a person remembers their past lives that their reincarnated soul has lived, that is what's called an awakening. Or, alternatively, when a past life's personality takes over your body, just like regularly, in very much so a multiple personalities kind of way, that is also an awakening. Those are the two primary ways that this will manifest, in either memories of your past lives or just an outward personality swap with a past life. So let's evaluate each one of those and kind of explain what they are. The first one is arguably more dangerous, which is remembering the past lives that you have lived. Now this is dangerous because the memories can drive you crazy. It is possible for the memories of those past lives to manifest, force you to do things, and just generally mentally deteriorate you. These people are often sent to insane asylums in-game. We actually see that in Pillars of Eternity 1. Now also in Pillars of Eternity 1, we learn that depending on the situation, you might be fortunate enough to have an alternative to being slowly driven mad. For instance, in the main character's case, their past life that they were remembering wanted something. They needed to know something. And chasing that down for our protagonist actually abates the memories, and they stop. Thus, our main character isn't driven crazy. That said, an awakened soul might not necessarily want anything. And unfortunately for those people, madness is pretty much the way of it 9 out of 10. Which is where the study of animancy that we've also talked about in previous videos comes up, because animancy seeks to resolve issues like that, and they're actively studying on how to do that. So it's not entirely without hope. Now that brings us to the second case where we have that personality swap I mentioned. We actually see this in one of our companions in the first game as well, Aloth, who has an awakened soul, or personality, whatever you want to call it, in the form of Isilmir, who will take over in moments of duress. Now this is arguably the less dangerous of the two, because these personalities seem to come out in reaction to something. Now in some cases this is still dangerous. That personality might lead you to do things that you don't want to do, that might potentially lead to your death. However, due to the very nature of this one, it's easier to get a hold on. In the case of our companion, we find out what is triggering those episodes, and we can either choose to avoid them or simply help him come to terms with the awakened soul within him, thus largely putting it into his problems, which in my opinion is what makes that particular side of an awakening less dangerous than the alternative, though again, it is still very much so dangerous. So there is a quick explanation of what awakenings are, simply a person's past lives manifesting in some way, causing them problems, either through, again, mental deterioration from past memories, or just a straight-up personality leading them to do things they wouldn't normally do. And again, the animancy that we talked about in a previous video is actively searching for ways to help these people who are afflicted by soul maladies. That's going to do it for this particular video and this particular subject. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. Channel is growing every day and I couldn't be here without you guys. Thank you. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day.